Hello and welcome back to Tammy's Antique Vintage Dolls and More, and today I am back with this segment of Let's Restore a Doll Together. Now, where have I been? What have I been doing? Where am I going? So anyways, let me get this can down here and we'll talk about this doll. Where am I? Well, what I've done so far is I've taken her eyes. I have painted the whites of the eyes. I have painted the tops of her eyes. Why have I done that? The reason why I've painted the tops of her eyes is this. First of all, because of her paint being old, the whites were yellowy. So I painted the whites of her eyes to take that yellow out. And plus, it just had a dirty, dingy look, the white did. It's not, even if the yellow wasn't there, the white was dingy looking. It was old paint, so I painted them white. The tops of her eyes are going to match her face, because the tops of her eyes, the eyelids, were of a different flesh tone. I had to make them the flesh tone of her face. So when I close her eyes, if she was to be laid down, now her eyes will match her flesh tone of her face and her arms and her legs. Now we'll put her eyes now up to her face, and you can see how nice that looks now, how nice and fresh. Let me see, maybe I can. How nice and fresh that looks with her eyes up to her face. And now when her eyes close, they will have a nice fresh look to them. And they open. I'm not doing this right, but that's okay. They have the whites look very nice. So that's what we're looking for. Okay? So now we have a nice fresh look on the face. Now the next step, where have I been? We have taken a look at the arms, and I'm still sanding here and there, dimples out and everything, and it's coming along quite nice. I still got to soften the lines where I've scratched from sanding. I'll be taking something to soften that in a little bit, but I've also put on the clips that I'm going to be using. How did I attach them? I put a ball of Milliput, and then I just took it and squished it on as tight as I could. Just pushed down until the Milliput came out around the edge. I trimmed it, let it sit. I brought it right into my home, right into the house itself, where the air is a little bit drier and not so moist as in here. I do have a dehumidifier in here going, but there is a difference between my home still and out here with a dehumidifier. And I just let it dry inside my home. Brought it back out now. They're nice and dry, and they're ready to go. Whenever I'm ready to paint, I can now hang them up with the alligator clips, hang them on something, however I need to. I now have something to hang them as they dry. So anyhow, that's what I've done to both of the arms. They both have their clips on now, and they can be attached into the material when I'm ready. I don't have to play around with those coils, the coils or anything of that sort. I have everything right there. I have the rest of the clip ready to go on the doll, and we're going to try this out, and if this works, this is what I'm going to go to. Remember, nobody sees this part, and I know we try to keep our dolls as original as possible to what they did back then, but also I liked a lot of today's stuff. I mean, I don't have to bring, hook up a horse and buggy today because I got a car. So, if there's a better way that we can do this even today and this works, I'm going to try it. This is just a trial on this doll. This doll is my experimental doll on this here. So we'll see how it works. And if it works pretty good, well, I'm going to be doing this to more dolls then. I kind of like this. So at this time, my attitude could change if it doesn't work properly. But I've used it once already. I used it on the Horseman Baby when I did the Horseman Baby up. And it worked beautifully. Just beautiful. So let's just leave it there for now. Once I attach it, we'll see what we think of it. And this will teach all of us, should we do this, should we not. They can come off. I can get them pried off if I have to. But we won't go there right now. So, and if I have to look at another method, we'll be looking at it. But I think this is going to work. I don't think there's any need for that. All I need to do now is just concentrate on my sanding for the doll's arm, and that's what we need to do. So there's your catch up on where I've been, what I've been doing, and where we are going with Let's Restore Our Doll Together. I hope this helps you out. You see where I'm going. She's coming along quite nicely. The next step on her eyes now will be to put the eyelashes in next. And she's ready to go. Her eyes are. To attach them into her head and start putting my next step will be putting the back and the front of the head back together again, and put her eyes in, of course, while we're in the easy stage here. So putting her eyes into the back of the head, seal up both sides of the head, get them sealed all the way around, and then sand that all down. The next step after that will be painting her head. Now, what else have I been doing? I'll just set that right over. I've also painted both the legs to try out my skin tone. I don't know if I like it just yet. If it's too dark, I might have to lighten it up. I'm not sure yet. Another coat of paint will tell me on here if I like the color that it is. So far, I don't mind it. I think once it has its blushing on there, I think it might look okay. I'm not sure yet. We will see. And not making too much of an opinion just yet. So we'll just leave it at that. And I hope that catches everybody up on what I am doing at this time. If I decide to lighten up the paint, I'll show you how I do that. And the tone that I'll go for. Because you can lighten up whenever you want. So, alright. Have a great weekend, everybody. And I'm signing off for today. There'll probably be maybe another video. I'm not too sure. So, just stay tuned. I got to go in and make some breakfast. Bye-bye.